Hi there, it's Robin here from quiltingintheloft.com. I'm decided today that I would talk to you about Silly Moon quilting rulers. They are fantastic rulers. I've just gotten back from teaching some ruler classes and just thought I would demonstrate a ruler. I have demonstrated some in the past. If you look at my YouTube channel, you'll see a Silly Moon ruler company and my BERNINA Q20 long arm video where I demonstrated a couple of the rulers. I thought that maybe today it would be fun to demonstrate a ruler since I've just newly back from classes and excited about the rulers. And I want to tell you why I'm excited about the rulers. First of all, it's a Canadian company, and it's not often that you see a Canadian company that has manufacturing supplies for the quilting industry. And so that's kind of exciting. Also, it's a woman entrepreneur, and shout out to Kelly, the owner of sillymoonquiltingcompany.ca. She manufactures these rulers along with her husband. And so that's really nice to see. It's also a family business. The quality of the rulers is really important to me. And full disclosure, I am a Silly Moon affiliate, but I would not talk to you at all about a product I didn't think was wonderful and is good quality. And so, yes, I am endorsing these rulers. And some of the reasons why: it's really good quality acrylic. They come in 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch thicknesses, so that if you wanted to use them for a low shank machine or a high shank machine, you have the ability to do that. You would need 1/4 inch thickness for a high shank machine and 1/8 inch thickness for the low shank machine. Okay, you can also use them on both your domestic machines. I'm going to work today with my BERNINA 790 Pro. I've also used them on my long arm, and I've also used them on my BERNINA 350, which is a much smaller machine with a smaller throat space here. But they work great. And what's neat is they come in different sizes. So for instance, this is drop 1, some really unique shapes. It makes a really cool flower. I'll demonstrate that in another video. And then there's the drop 3 and the drop 2. So oftentimes they come in different sizes, not always, but often they do. And depending on the shapes, they also have really nice etching. So this Wedgie ruler is the one I'm going to work on today. So you can see that they've got different lines for lining up, different horizontal lines as well as diagonal lines. And the word Wedgie is etched in. And so it is their Silly Moon Quilting Company, and the www.sillymoonquiltingco.ca is also etched. And that kind of helps with grip a little bit. But it comes along with some sticky tape that you can put on your ruler to help to keep it in place as you're working with them. And I explain, kind of how to work with that in my class. But you'll see with the Wedgie ruler demonstration coming up, how exactly do I work with these rulers. They are fantastic. If you go to her website and you decide you're looking at her website and you see a shape that you absolutely love and you want to order, I can offer you a 10% discount with my affiliation with them. And you just need to put in the discount code Quilting Loft in high like big letters, Quilting Loft. And I will put that down below in the description as well. So you put that in and you'll get 10% off. So there's a whole plethora and variety of ruler shapes. Like I said, I'm going to work on the Wedgie, and they also have the maple leaf, which makes that uniquely Canadian, and that's kind of nice that there is a maple leaf shape. There's classic shapes like circles and straight lines, and the beanie, which also makes circles and all kinds of different shapes. And there's charming, and I'm just glossing over the different rulers that they have, and turkey and twinkle and cheesy, and there's a heart-shaped ruler, and just a plethora of space. There's a spacey ruler as well, and then there's the dude spacer. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with these rulers. They are fantastic. And so I'm happy to be demonstrating the Wedgie, and I will show you that up next. I'm going to get started with the demonstration very shortly, but I wanted to mention one more thing. It's always lots to say. I have been working with my BERNINA 790 Pro, and I've been doing lots of decorative stitches on the BERNINA International blog. So if you go to www.blog.bernina.com and /en for the English, you will see my articles about decorative stitching. And so I've combined some decorative stitching with the ruler work, and I think you'll be interested to see just what project I've come up with. So stay tuned to the end, watch the demonstration, and then I will show you the project that I've done with decorative stitches and ruler work. Sort of a novel and interesting way to approach the ruler work. I hope that you will enjoy my demonstration, and then stay tuned for that project idea. And we'll see you shortly. We're going to get started right soon with this demonstration for the Wedgie ruler. I'm using Wedgie number 3. I do have the other 1 and 2 on order, so hopefully you'll see on social media some of the designs I'm doing with the Wedgie 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 rather. And I did demonstrate this before, but I'm going to demonstrate it again with this 60 degree. I didn't really have a lot of detail in my last demonstration, and I'm going to do this 60 degree design to show you the difference, and I'll show you the difference between the 45 and the 60 with another sample that I have. But my setup is I have sticky tape on the ruler. That comes with the ruler. And I didn't mention the packaging, but normally what will happen when you get your ruler in the mail, you'll get your ruler, you'll get some sticky tape in the packaging. Don't overlook it or throw it in the garbage. You also get like a Silly Moon information about the website, or a card that says how to take care of your rulers. And it will come in just a normal Ziploc bag. And then as well, it's all sent and shipped in the mail in a bubble wrapped package. So it is very safe. They won't get cracked in transit. So that's a good thing as well, and how they're shipped. And as you can see, I have a quilt sandwich already. I always serge them just in case I decide to do something with them later. Keep them from fraying so that I can use them for future class references. And I have marked the center only of this block, and I've done it kind of exaggerated so that you can see it on camera. And I've done that with just a Choco liner marker and a ruler. I just marked the center. Okay. Also, if you want to check out your, what I want to say is your tension ahead of time, I recommend that you have a quilt sandwich that you can sort of play on. I've been sort of playing with this Wedgie ruler as well as other ruler ideas. It just gives me an opportunity to kind of pre-practice to make sure that I don't ruin my sample, or that I can do the best job with it. So I'm going to get started in just a second, and I'll explain exactly step by step what I do. I should mention as well that I am putting gloves on, and these are well-worn quilting gloves. And it is important to wear gloves because they have grips on the fingertips, so it helps you to manage your fabric. I do have plexiglass as well, extended surface on my BERNINA 790 Pro. And it fits, it's a custom fitted one that I got through my BERNINA dealer. So that's where you would get that. What you want to do as well is make sure that your foot is up, because you want it away from your ruler. You don't want to crack it down on your ruler. I'm going to bring this ruler into place, and I'm using the placement lines that are on the ruler right here. You can see these placement lines, and I'm using the top placement line on the horizontal on this ruler. This is the Wedgie 3, and I'm just going to bring my foot close to it, put it down away from the ruler, and then move it in closer. I just don't want to crack my needle down on the ruler, and I feel like I'm in the center. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've used kind of a little bit of the horizontal line from my center marking to go ahead and make this Wedgie design. And the reason that I'm not doing the crosshairs, you'll see very, very shortly. And what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to still move this ruler out of the way and bring my thread up from the bottom. It just creates less mess. And I'm just going to do a stitch. And bring my thread up from the bottom. Do a couple of stitches in place. This is just an aesthetic thing. You don't have to do this. but I don't like having a lot of thread in underneath that will end up in a thread nest. So we're going to remove that. I have a little pair of scissors close by as well. Now my ruler is in place and I am ready to stitch. So hopefully you can see it. I'm hoping I won't block it with my hands. And I'll try and do it so you can see what I'm doing. I go ahead and stitch. And I am thinking as I'm going to keep that foot very much tight up against the edge of the ruler, but still so that I can move it. And you can hear it's free motion. It's not in BSR mode or anything, which is Bernina Stitch Regulator. It's in my own mode. So I'm managing to stitch on my own. And at the corner, I'm going to stop and feel for the top edge of the ruler again. And I'm kind of just moving in a really rhythmic fashion. And I'm making sure that my ruler is laying against my fabric and it's not moving. I come back to the center. And as I said earlier, I want to do this 60 degree. So what I'm going to do is, you can see here, you see how I moved that? I'm making sure the lines for the 60 degree match the previous stitched lines. And that way I can set up my ruler again to start stitching. I'm going to go ahead and, once I'm satisfied with the placement, I'm going to go ahead and stitch this line. And I'm rotating the ruler again, using the 60 degree marks that are on the ruler and lining it up with my previous stitch line and going ahead and stitching again. I have fingers on and off the ruler, and that's really important as well, because that way you can control both the ruler and the fabric. And I did stop and put the laser, pinpoint laser on as well, because I find that if I stop, it helps me to find my position. That's a feature that is on the Bernina 790 Pro. So that's really helpful with ruler work in particular. Okay, and you'll see here now, because we're getting closer to the camera, where I'm lining up my lines for the 60 degree. It's going to create a kind of a neat design, I think. Anyways, I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way and continue to sew so that you can see. And what I'm trying to do for consistent stitch length, because I don't have the BSR on, is I'm just trying to listen to the rhythm of my machine as I'm talking, which is not easy. But when you're at home alone and there's no noise on, and even a podcast sometimes will disturb me, I turn things off and just listen to the rhythm of my machine. As you can see, this machine, this Bernina 790 Pro, is a pretty quiet machine. Back to the center, and another line up here for the 60 degree. It doesn't line up exactly, but it's pretty darn close, and it's going to mean that I'm going to have a fairly accurate design. I don't sweat the small stuff. just going along the edge of the ruler, feeling the foot butt up against that nice acrylic edge, and listening to the rhythm of my machine. So I'll get consistent stitch length. And I'm going to rotate it again to the last 60 degree. It'll end up that I have 6 of the motifs completed. And if you did the 45 degree, you'd have 8. So you'd have kind of a more petaled flower. This is about a 15.5-inch square of fabric, in case you're wondering. So this Wedgie 3 makes a pretty big design. If you go to Silly Moon's YouTube channel, and I will put the channel in the link below, she shows you as well how to do an all-over design with the Wedgie, which is really cool. And then there's another video just about the Wedgie itself. So her videos are excellent and they're very educational and you'll learn a lot. And I did have to stop here because my thread broke. That's my fault because I had my tension turned up too high. So I did fix that. And I'm gonna lift my foot now and pull my needle out. You want to make sure that your foot is away from that ruler. And then I'm going to cut my threads so you can see the design. And I'll brush all that yellow that's in the center away. But there it is. That's the design. And up next, I'm going to show you a couple of different options that you can do with this design. That'll be fun, some projects. And so I'll be back shortly. Just a few other tidbits that I think I should share with you is I forgot to mention that I use my 72S foot. That way, when I'm finished with the ruler work, I can go and with the thread, with the ability with the gap to go out and do some free motion work. As well, you need to make sure that you switch your foot to the 72 foot. There isn't a 72S in the system, in the 7 series machines, but there is a 72, so just click on that and make sure it's set up for that. You need to also have your feed dogs down. And I didn't mention that. I assume that everybody knows that. But in case you're new to ruler work, I encourage you to join into and try some ruler work. And those are the settings that you need for your machine. And then I promised I would show you a project, so that'll be coming up next. Hi again, I promised I would show you some projects with this Wedgie 3 ruler. And I wanted to mention another option, not just to think of it for a centered design, but you could also take this 60 degree design, which is here, and consider it a border. And that would be a great border design. You can add some more free motion quilting around it, whatever you like. I haven't added anything because this is the sample we just completed. This is the 60 degree 60 degree wedgie. And then I also have the 45 degree wedge, which allows for 8 different petals on this one. And this one had 6 petals. So that's 2 options with the Wedgie ruler already. Well, 3 including the border. And I made another, and there's a million other options, we know that. And as I said, Kelly from Silly Moon has a whole YouTube tutorial on what to do with the Wedgie ruler and how to make it continuous as well. And then she also talks in one of her videos about using some rulers in a seasonal way. And so I've come up with this one, and this is going to be a pillow for my mid-century modern living room. And I'm going to consider it Christmas in July, but I just made it. And just using the Wedgie as a single shape. And then I added free motion stars to the top and decorative stitches. And that was fun because I've been exploring my decorative stitches, as I mentioned. So there's a project idea for you to try. You could make yourself some early Christmas gifts or get yourself some early decor going. I'm hoping that you will check out the links, check out Silly Moon. Hopefully as well, you'll subscribe to my channel, and I hope you to enjoy today's tutorial. Have a great day.